Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of our podcast Beyond the Game. We have a special guest today from Australia, based in Dubai, and an amazing story of very inspirational and the love of sport brought her here today. Sara.
Hi,
Hi.
thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Last minute
Yes,
call.
yes.
Welcome to ISD. Welcome to Dubai.
It's incredible.
And let's talk about
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, for sure.
So to start, who is Sara?
Yeah. So, my name is Sara Houston, and I've come over here to represent my sport, which is wheelchair basketball. And I play for the Australian Gliders, as well as the WA Wheelcats. And yeah, I guess what kind of got me here and to this moment was not an injury, not an accident, but I actually was diagnosed with a very aggressive bone cancer in my leg when I was just before my 9th birthday. And very hard thing for not only a small child, but I guess a family to have to figure out the next steps, at that time. And because of the type of cancer that it was and how aggressive it was, we weren't really sure if I was going to make it or if we were able to save the limb. 32 surgeries later, I'm okay, I'm alive, and I'm very grateful to still have my leg, although the future does look a little bit hazy, although I'm not even worried about that anymore. And yeah, I guess for me, I was really active. I was super active. I loved every sport. I grew up in the country, in Kalgoorlie. And for us, it was like bike riding. It was, netball. There wasn't an ocean there, so lots of swimming at the pools. And one weekend I started basketball. I was stoked. My mum got me some trainers. I was ready to jump in, play some basketball. And that Sunday, I actually was diagnosed with the osteogenic sarcoma.
So just after your mom got your first basketball training?
Yeah. Just after my first pair of trainers, I was very much keen. The thing about netball is you got to stay still. I don't like staying still.
Right.
Yeah, you catch the ball, you got to stay still. Basketball is a bit freer, I suppose. And so I guess through that journey and then, acquiring a disability, I have a physical disability. My capacity isn't the same as everyone's. I didn't really get a look in at sport anymore. So, best part of school was PE. All of a sudden it was, you got to sit and watch, or dance. I want to do dance. No, you can choreograph maybe, but you can't be a part of it. Always being told no, your limitations, know your limitations. You got to protect your leg. It's very hard for a young child to deal with, being told no. And so, I sort of went on with life, and I tried to enter the workplace quite young, and I found that to be a total, just mind-boggling adventure in itself. Do I not be honest with my employer and say that I'm good? I want you to hire me. There's nothing wrong. Or do I be open and transparent about it? And it's definitely been a tough journey in that aspect, but I was really lucky that one day I just happened to run into one of the most amazing humans I know, Amber Merritt, who is a multi-time Paralympian. And she literally came up to me in a cafe and said, "Hey, what's going on?" And the honesty, I love that. As a kid, people ask, you tell, or as a kid, you're willing to share information and you're excited by that. But as an adult, I find, people look, they stare maybe, they see scars, but they don't ask. I want to tell people because it's fine. We've all got different scars and we've all got different stories. But yeah, I found it so amazing that she just was like, "What's wrong with your leg?" And she's like, "I play basketball in a wheelchair and I would love if you came down and just tried it out. Have a go." And I did everything not to at the time. I was like,
when was that? How old were you when that happened in the cafe?
So this was maybe 6 years ago.
Okay.
Very, very spontaneous. And I managed to pluck up the courage and head down. Keeping in mind my first basketball session was before I was 9 years old. And this is, many moons later. So I had no idea how to play basketball at all. In fact, I'm still learning. But I gave it a go and I fell in love, obsessed. Just to be able to, really push myself physically and actually find it challenging and to see progression as well. It was something I hadn't experienced since I was really little. And not only that, it came sort of to me at a time where I was very unsure about myself in the world and my disability and how I fit in. And for so long, I got to tell my story, and it kind of became my identity. But then all of a sudden, I'm an adult and no longer people are asking. So it's like, oh, okay, maybe this isn't my story anymore and I got to get past it. But yeah, it's allowed me to be around people that are like me, to gain knowledge on things that I didn't think were possible, remove fear about, potentially having my leg amputated not too far away. And yeah, just to get that team, camaraderie and be able to have a group of like-minded people around you that are so resilient, and also just won't take no for an answer. So, you might complain, they're like, come on. So there's just, there's no negative to that opportunity. It's honestly been life-saving, I would say.
Nice. So let's go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Just before turning 9 years old,
Yeah.
everything happened.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you had to had a strong family behind you to support, because you were a child. I guess it's a bit different if something like that happens when you're a bit older.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit how you mentioned about your mom.
Yeah.
How was the support, or how was the family next to you on the next years? Because it was a disability and you had challenge in school. How important is and was to have a strong base, family base, to carry on?
Incredibly important. I think I come from what some would say is a broken family. My mum and my dad split up when I was 4 or 5, just before my 5th birthday, I think. And at the time I was living with my mum and my brother in the country, and my dad and my stepmom were living back in Perth, but in the hills. So it was, I guess, an immediate sense of coming together. It didn't matter about what had happened. And in front of me, they kept it very together as well so that they could be supportive. I think the hardest part was sort of seeing the expression on people's faces, and they want to give you all this support, but you're also like, why? I'm fine, and I'm good. But never ending amount of support. And I think that's something I'm truly blessed for having it happen to me when I was young, because I guess where I come from, there's so many different avenues as a child that you can take, like organizations for children that are affected by cancer. So even when I felt like, mum's focusing on all of the medical stuff that I don't have to think about because she just makes sure I'm there and it's happening, and my brother's just keeping me smiling, there were ways for me to go, all right, well, what do I do? Like, how do I still make the most of my day-to-day? And joining these different organizations, even just to be around other people that were maybe like going through the same thing, it just opened up a bigger community again. And then that turned into, leadership roles in these organizations and more people in the community again. So it's just been like an amazing amount of support. And I know that not everyone gets that, and that is heartbreaking to me. I think a lot of it is, lack of understanding of what is available.
Today we see a lot of less kids doing sports for many reasons. Technology, lack of interest, the parents don't support. But going back, would you say you needed more support from the school or from the teachers or from your colleagues that did understand? And maybe you're a better player than many of them, right?
I guess the good thing is we're always evolving, right? So when I was going through my schooling, it was some time ago, and there just wasn't the knowledge, one, about disability. A lot of the disabilities that you saw were maybe cognitive or intellectual, and those kids were looked after by particular staff that would help them with that learning, but there wasn't really like an understanding of, okay, well, chemotherapy affects your body a certain way. You won't be able to concentrate, and fatigue kicks in, and there's certain things you've got to think about afterwards, but also the physical side of it. So for me, I was having surgeries throughout high school, but I still wanted to be the same as everyone, and I hated no for an answer. So I think, I made it through just fine. There was definitely, I think, a lot that could have been done in terms of my physical, physical recovery even, or rehabilitation through school, whether that meant maybe looking at like swimming or something else that I could get into. And, now there's specific chairs available for people like myself, and adaptive and assistive equipment. But, back then it was kind of, if you can't do it, you don't. And that's it. And I think from there to now, we've made massive movements. Yeah.
Yeah, because even back then you could have motivate other kids, right, to play sports.
Yeah.
Instead of people just say, no, you cannot play. Oh yeah, she can play. And other kids will see that, she has bigger challenges, so let's all motivate each other.
100%.
Okay, and then going to the teenager phase, then college, right? How was that phase, or challenges that you faced that time?
It was rough. I'll be honest with you. No, it was rough. There was a lot of bullying. To say that there wasn't is a total lie. To say that maybe, at times I was a bully. Kids can be cruel, and it's a tricky thing navigating, puberty and that time of your life, especially with appearance. Appearance was a really tough one, and for probably even like a decade or so, I definitely struggled in that department, because again, people stare. The older you get, people stop asking. If they ask, I can tell them an awesome story about how it happened, or I could tell a cheeky lie and say it was a shark attack and go in this crazy, but all of a sudden it was like, well, I want to look normal. I want to look like everyone else. I had so many surgeries to, take fat out of my right leg, put it in my left leg, fix scarring, try and just normalize. I would wear tights that were so tight, and I would have molded foam that I would shove into my thigh, basically, so that it would try and make it look like a full size sort of leg. And I think about it now and I'm like, what? Crazy that I did all those things. But it's truly like a really tricky time. And without having the support networks around you and the people that do understand disability and how it can affect you, it is a really tricky sort of life to navigate, I suppose.
And do you think it's a lack of information or education? Because as you said, a lot of people, they look at you, they don't ask.
Yeah.
Or do you feel they're shy, or they're judging you, or because we were talking just now, I have met a lot of people. I have worked with the Paralympics. We have done many paddle events with people with determination. And a lot of them, they tell me between them, they have so much fun. They make jokes with each other. And, or people are looking at them, they approach them and say, you want to know my story? I can explain to you.
Yeah.
But I am normal as you are.
Yeah.
So do you think still people judge because of the look? Lack of education, information, lack of access to hang out with those people and to know that, yes, you guys can live a normal life. And sometimes you're happier, more successful, have a better life than someone that thinks, look at the mirror and it's perfect.
I'm normal.
Right?
Yeah. Lack of knowledge, lack of education. Even this weekend being here, the first day I spoke at a press conference and I had people come up to me and they're like, oh, so you can walk, but you are still disabled. And it's like, yeah, I know. And they just don't know.
Yeah.
They just don't know. Only now, even just in Australia, are they airing the Paralympics more on channels that should be televised on, like the Olympics are. But you're just not really educated in that way. You're not really educated when you're a kid. You're not really, I guess, told how to approach a situation or how not to approach a situation. I love when kids are like, Mum, what's wrong with her? I think once you sort of get to an age, there's just like a cutoff where it's like, that's not appropriate. But almost it does more damage because it's sort of cuts off, like it's sort of shutting off the fact that is real and that is happening in front of you. So I think, part of the work that I hope to do and continue doing is just spreading misinformation, making people understand that you don't have to be in a wheelchair to be disabled. Hidden disability is definitely a thing. And also, the lead into sport and what's actually available to people and what level and degree they can actually take sport to, depending on their capacity. So it's definitely lack of information and knowledge, I would say.
And doesn't mean if someone is on a wheelchair, that's it.
Yeah,
This person still can do a lot.
Yeah.
And as you said, if someone has a disability but is not on the wheelchair, still a lot of challenges.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And not only physically, but just to hear your story, you have to have that strong mother next to you, brother, family, friends, and mentally you're still very strong because everything that happened.
Yeah.
So it's not only physically, all the challenges, and you keep going, and now it's time for you to spread the word and teach people.
It's mental resilience.
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh, it's just I get some goosebumps because hearing your story and you still smiling, happy. So now, why you are here in Dubai? That's the
the main question. I put my hand up for a opportunity that I was told about by a good friend of mine that I got to work with last year called Rodney Holt. And he is the director of BSF Asia and has done some incredible work spreading para sports, especially sports that are in the Paralympics around Asia for people with disabilities. And he hit me up and he was like, hey, we're introducing wheelchair basketball to Dubai and the UAE. And I was like, that's nice. He's like, do you want to come? I was like, all right.
Why not?
Okay, sure. So I had a little message come through for Holly Murphy, and she's telling me about her heroes and the work that they've been doing here, and I guess how there's just still that imbalance there, and there's so much work that can be done, and so many people that could be getting involved with para sports and wheelchair sports in particular, and they want to kick off wheelchair basketball. So made my way over and had no idea what to expect, but I'm so keen to come back.
That's amazing what sport can do and change lives. So
absolutely.
I know Holly for the past 2 years and a half. We host heroes here. We do a tennis lesson for them once a week, and it's just amazing the work she has been doing with the kids. Not easy.
Oh gosh.
At all. She's very brave, and we always share different ideas how to do things different, and she's been doing and changing lives for sure.
Oh yeah.
And then last week I said, Holly, why don't we do a talk with you, talk about the heroes, how it started, what have you been doing in the UAE? And said, before you talk with me, I have someone else that you should talk. She has an amazing story, and she'll be in Dubai for 4 days only.
Yeah.
So you have one chance. Sunday morning, if you want to do it. I said, okay.
Lock it in.
Yeah. I called CJ and I said, CJ, you're changing your day off, but we need you Sunday morning here.
Thank you, CJ.
Yeah. But you see, for me, it's like just, it's amazing how you can meet people from all over the world. Like you from Australia, in Dubai. I'm originally from Brazil, been in Dubai for the past 8 years. And sport has made such a difference in my life, in people around me. So I think we're very lucky to have met you and to hear your story. And for you to develop wheelchair basketball in the UAE, it's something that Holly and I, we spoke about last year.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it is happening way quicker than what we thought.
Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about the wheelchair sports, or how do you see, because a lot of parents, as you mentioned, they have kids or people with disability, and they think, oh, my kid cannot be on the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Right? What do you think? Why? How is the message that we can change that? Yeah, you can have a disability, but you can be on the wheelchair, play sports, and doesn't mean you less than others.
Not at all. Not at all.
So how would you deliver a message to the parents? I think especially for the parents.
It's definitely for the parents. I think people, they take a diagnosis, especially birth, right? A child that's been maybe, birth defect or just something that has happened to their child, and they have a label put on it, and that's it. My child has this. It's not the case. That child might do physiotherapy or occupational therapy for like recovery and strengthening. Sport's just another pathway of doing that. But again, the lack of knowledge is they just don't know how huge it is around the world and actually where it can take you. But forgetting about, being an elite athlete and maybe going to like 4 Paralympics or something crazy, it's building capacity just for their child. They don't need to go, this is it, this is be all end all, they're in a wheelchair. I have mates that go downstairs in their chairs. They just wheelie and it's terrifying to watch, and I absolutely cannot do the same thing. But for me, for instance, one day I'm walking, one day I'm using a walking stick, then another day I'm in a chair, another day I'm in a wheelchair. When I travel for sport, we're playing so intensely every day that I start to get really sore, and I use my chair. It's my capacity, but I've been able to build that capacity through pushing my sports wheelchair, through passing a ball, pushing through my legs while I'm sitting and actually strengthening my legs. Like, it's only done positive things and like helped me get stronger, get more confident as well. And that's the other thing with sport, is confidence that comes from it. Not only are we smiling and having fun because we're surrounded by people that are, having fun with us, but you learn to dribble in a chair. It's harder than it looks, without it bouncing on the chair and going in a different direction. So, being able to do that, getting your first basket, like, oh my gosh, what a
your teammates celebrating.
Yeah. Oh, I had a whole crowd going. I had the refs, I had everyone, because I just couldn't make a basket. And then, my last game of my first ever nationals events in Australia, I made a basket and everyone went crazy.
Amazing.
But that's it, right? The confidence that came from that in itself. And it could just be, the slightest thing. It could just be, this young child. I met a kid called Ryan the first day I was here, and Ryan is awesome. And he saw my wheelchair and he saw the new wheelchairs and he was like not interested. And I got in my chair and I was like, I can go real fast. So like, I don't know how fast you can go, but do you want to try as well? By the end of it, he got into the wheelchair, and just that, the confidence to actually do it, he was unstoppable. He was wanting to like push me around and like push me away with his wheelchair. Just that little step that he took might seem like nothing for someone else, but for him and for his mom, that was huge. So it seems like, someone gets put into a wheelchair, someone has an accident, their being able to walk is taken away from them. That's not it, It's just a set of wheels, sure, whatever. But to be able to do the things that I can do now, there's no way I thought I'd be able to do that earlier on. No way.
It's funny the way you talk. You always doing this direction. You say moving forward.
Yeah.
So do you think after you sit down on the wheelchair, there's no looking back? Always moving forward.
Absolutely.
So maybe it's a nice message for the parents and the kids.
Absolutely.
Say, look, you gotta try.
Yeah.
If you sit down and you start moving, forget about the past. You're only looking forward for
That's exactly right.
greater and better things.
That gives me chills.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it does.
Oh, it's amazing. And you've been playing wheelchair basketball for the past 6 years?
Oh, I'd say probably maybe 5.
5?
Yeah, 5.
And what's the next next goal?
So I came into wheelchair basketball at a very weird time, because we're 2025 now. 5 years ago it was COVID, and at that time I'd just come out of a not a great relationship. I had a business. I had a boutique with designer dresses, and I would hire them out, and I loved it. And that all just stopped, and it was just very confusing and very distressing, I suppose. Your whole routine changes. So I jumped in at a time where there wasn't really anything available to go and, compete at. So I just trained and trained and trained. And the mental and physical exertion that I got from that was fulfilling enough. And then borders opened, and I've been to a few different events. I got to go to Osaka last year to the Friendlies Cup, which is about to happen this year. I plan to go to a few more of those because I'd love to go back to Japan. But, we've got Worlds coming up. A couple of years ago, Worlds was actually held here. So I was still a rookie, I'd say, back then. So I got to watch the team on the TV, and it was amazing. But yeah, Worlds is coming up. I would love to be present at that. And then, the big goal that we all have is Paralympics. So the next one's in LA, and following that, it's Brisbane. So if I can somehow muster up the courage,
I'm sure you can.
I would love to make it through to Brizzy. I would. Yeah, it's a tricky journey as an athlete because, I would love to maybe start a family of my own. But yeah, right now I feel like I'm definitely fulfilling and filling my cup, I would say, with sport. And yeah, I'm gunning towards that Paralympics for sure.
And I think you're changing lives, right? Talking with people now here, meeting the kids from Heroes and meeting so many people. I think that's I don't know, in my opinion, but a part of a professional Paralympic athlete that you are, the message that you can put out there makes a lot of difference. And of course, people being next to you, they're gonna start watching you playing. I think it's gonna motivate them even more. So I'm sure you're gonna be in Brisbane, LA for sure.
Yeah.
And then in Brisbane.
You'll know it's me because I'm usually doing something silly. I'm a bit of a laughing stock in my team. They love it. Because I didn't know how to play basketball a few years ago, and I've somehow managed to make my way to where I am now. So, if it's enough to just inspire the next person to give it a go, and just to have a little bit of hope there. Because, we say in Australia all the time, sport changes lives. Yeah. And it does. It changes lives. Sure. And I think the mental resilience, like we spoke about, that comes with having a disability, once you add that in with sport, it creates a pretty cool human, not to tap myself on the back, but also someone that can share this, because we need to keep moving forward, right?
I think life is already challenging for everyone every day. The world, I feel like the world is such in a stage that... people are angry. Yeah, it's a lack of communication, friendship. People are just connected online, watching here, and there's so many things going on that they forget about real talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, and to listen real stories. That
maybe what's on my phone isn't as important,
Right.
Yeah.
I heard you not only a wheelchair basketball player, you have a lot more. Well, you had your own business before.
I did, yes.
Play wheelchair basketball. What else? Tell us.
I'm a singer. My dad was a musician. He still dabbles, but I definitely got a music gene, I suppose, from him, and I adore singing. So. Not only is sport therapy for me, but music is definitely therapy for me. And I've been singing since I was really little. I've had no training or anything. I just enjoy it. I love it. And
what type of
singing? Oh, I sing everything. But yeah, I went on Australian Idol a couple of years ago, the first season back. Had no intention to do that, but I ended up making it to top 24, top 16. It was wild. It was really cool, and I will continue to pursue it. If not for myself, for everyone that keeps telling me to, because they love it as well. But yeah, no, it's a special creative outlet that I have, which always has a place. But right now, sports just taking the reins.
Yeah, but you still, before important game or important training, do you sing or do you listen a specific?
I don't stop singing.
Yeah, okay.
I don't stop singing. It's usually me, and then I'm usually the music person. So on our bus with the squad, I'll turn the speaker on, I'll take the requests, I'll put the sing-alongs on there so that everyone's singing. Yeah, it's another way to bring everyone together, really. So yeah.
Come on, now we are curious.
Yeah. There's a song called "Waiting on an Angel" by Ben Harper. It's a beautiful song. My stepmom actually met him at the airport believe it or not. And I went to a festival and he called out my name.
Oh yeah?
He was like, good luck to Sara Houston on American Idol. I was like, it's Australian, but that's fine. Yeah, no, so he's got some great songs. But yeah, Waiting on an Angel is a beautiful one. And I'm waiting on an angel, 'cause I know it won't be long to find myself a resting place in my angel's arms, in my angel's arms. Ooh.
Amazing.
Not bad. Straight off the cuff.
Yeah?
No warm up.
That's nice. So Sarah, amazing story for sure. I'm very glad we had the chance to meet. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for Holly to make it happen. Again, if it wasn't through sport, we would never have the chance to talk and hear, or especially me, to hear story and to share with people that follow us. The main thing for us is, to show people different profiles and motivate people, parents, kids, people that makes a lot of excuses, right? Not to do this or that. They complain about life, and that's a lot of things, a lot of good things in life happening that you can help each other from a simple smile, good morning, or chatting with someone that can change your day. I think to finalize, what's the message, or I think what's the legacy that you want to leave for people around you, for the kids?
I think it's not to forget that there are bad days. You know, there's days, even myself as an elite athlete, there's days where I wake up and I'm so sore and I'm so tired, and it would be easier to just say no to everything and just, live in my own bubble. But ultimately, I let my team down, and then ultimately I let myself down, because, I did take an opportunity that has not only been helping me, but it's in turn, hopefully, like we are now, spreading a bit of a message of encouragement, and a sense of, I guess, unity and like feeling safe in this community, because there's so many of us out there, these people of determination, which is something I love so much. I've only heard this since coming to Dubai, people of determination, and it makes so much sense. But, depending on each day, the next day is just another day to try again. It's just another day where you wake up and you've got the excuse to try again. You're going to make a bad excuse, or you're just going to try a little bit harder than the day before. And yeah, it's okay to ask for help as well. But just, I guess being open and willing to sort of give it a go, because I haven't seen it negatively affect any person that I know, ever. And I owe that to sport, and I owe that to my coaches. And it would be just so fulfilling to see the rise of wheelchair sports in places like the UAE and Dubai, and, maybe a team one day at the Paralympics, knowing that it started here, right? Because ability is a word, right? Able, non-able, whatever. But there's just so much out there now, 2025, there's so much out there now that there is opportunities for everybody. You just have to speak up, and you have to ask, and you have to be willing to give it a go.
Amazing. Strong message, right? As we said, jump on the wheelchair and move forward.
Move forward.
Don't look back.
That's exactly right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to meet you, to speak with you, to hear a story.
Likewise.
And for sure, we're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Hopefully to see you singing again.
Yeah.
Let us know the next game. I know you have a game now. Are you going to play with the coaches and kids?
Heroes of Hope. We're going to go run some sessions. It'll be good.
Enjoy your last day in Dubai.
Thank you.
You're leaving tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully to see you soon. And next time you come, you got to try a paddle.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're the best. Thanks,
Thank
Diego.
you. Thank you guys for tuning to this podcast. See you in the next episode. Don't forget to like, follow, and share with your friends and family. See you soon.